United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So everyone received via email the agenda for tonight. I would like to have a motion to accept the agenda. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Moving along. At this point, we're going to have our public portion of the meeting. So I know we have some reps here from elected. So if you have anything you'd like to report on. I think also Senator Steve Chan was here, and if you'd like to come up and say a few words also.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Chan. A lot of you know me by now. I'm very happy to be here tonight. I'm sorry it took me so long after the election to get over here to speak to all of you. I assure you that I did grow up in the neighborhood, Bensonhurst and Bay Ridge, for the last 48 years, so I know every corner of our neighborhood very well. And I'm happy to report that our office is now open for business. I would like to introduce my Chief of Staff, Vito Labella, who is an advocate for education, fair education for our kids. He's also a retired police lieutenant of 32 years. I would like to introduce my senior advisor, Mr. Ari Kagan, whom many of you also know. He's got his own radio show, so I'm working on building an all-star cast over here that we can reach and stay in touch with all of our members of our neighborhood and our district. Now, today, our office, by the way, if you Google us, Steve Chan, New York Senate, right, it'll pop up, but let me give you the number right quick. It's 718-333-0311. Now, for any former Marines over here, me, right, 0311 is the code for infantry. So you can't forget that number, 0311. Today I attended the State of the City address. I was very happy to be invited by Mayor Adams. I went out to the Apollo Theater. He spoke of a lot of things. They're very ambitious plans, such as building 1 million housing units over the next decade. But he kind of doesn't mention where the money's going to come from. So we currently, in this city, we have about 1 million housing units in New York City right now. So he's talking about doubling the size of our city in the next 10 years without the space. So that's, it's a little far-fetched, but there's a lot more. If you look me up on Facebook, I talk about it. So I like to think that I know what everybody wants, but hey, listen, you talk, and I'll listen. That's the deal. And I'm here for you. I promised everybody that I am reachable. Call me anytime. Come to my office. Have a cup of coffee. I got it set up. The coffee maker is set up. We're on 6605 Fort Hamilton Parkway. And thank you for your support. Thank you for your patience as I apply my new trade. Thank you very much. Oh, January 25th, I would like to invite everybody for a second inauguration of myself over at New Utrecht High School. I'm going to swear in as your senator once again over at New Utrecht High School. It's January 25th, Saturday at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Justin. I'm here from Councilman David Carr's office. I'm just going to reiterate what I say pretty much every meeting. We do cleanups. We operate something called, we partner with Where to Turn. It's a nonprofit to fund their clean team. Their clean team addresses any litter that's, kind of bundling up in certain areas. If you notice a street that has a lot of trash or people are dumping trash in a certain area, you let us know. We'll come and send a team out there. We'll clean that up. Overgrowth we do. It's not really an issue, though. It's the winter, so you can keep that in mind for when spring hits. We do also e-waste pickup. So if you have a big TV or you have a VCR or something like that, where you got to drop it off, they're not going to let you. You're going to get a ticket if you leave it on the side of the curb. You let us know. We'll come and pick it up for you, so that we can do. It is cold, so stay warm, and that's it. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Happy New Year. I'm Wincy. I'm a community advocate with the Office of Councilmember Alexa Aviles. Just want to give a quick year-end review of 2024. It was a really busy year. We served over 1,300 constituents last year, and over 60% of our cases involved assistance to address housing insecurity and social service assistance. We spent a total of 176 hours in the community during our mobile office hours, including at Red Hook Initiative here at Il Centro and McKinley Public Library. We thank them for their continued partnership and ask that folks spread the word. We're trying to bring government to the people, and folks should definitely take advantage of that. So we have office hour flyers here. Legislatively, Councilmember Aviles passed 3 bills and introed 41 bills. We attended and/or tabled at over 155 community events, and we thank all our local CBOs for their partnership. We're able to partner with 111 community organizations to provide over $2 million in crucial community services, and provide $5 million in capital funding for public schools, to name a few. Councilmember Aviles is back to work as the chair of the Council's Immigration Committee. She's having a committee hearing on January 16th to explore what measures our city can take to protect our immigrant neighbors and uphold our city's sanctuary law. For our nonprofit community partners, the council's portal to apply for council discretionary and capital funds are open now, so CBOs can visit our council website to begin and proceed with the application process. We're also working with Grow Brooklyn to offer free tax preparation services. And we'll be sharing a flyer ahead of the tax season, so stay tuned. And again, we have flyers here. We're restarting office hours at Il Centro starting next Thursday here from 1 to 5, and it'll continue every other Thursday. So thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name's Tal Litwin. I'm here representing Borough President Antonio Reynoso's office. So just a couple notifications. Community board applications are live now up until February 14th. So any New York City resident 16 years and older who lives, works, or have a significant interest in a community can serve on their community board. And then also, BP Reynoso's fiscal year capital funding applications are now open. So city agencies, nonprofits, cultural institutions, and public schools are eligible to apply for that funding. 4 upcoming events on January 22nd. BP's team is hosting an event with the Department of Buildings to help people resolve their DOB summons with one-on-one consultations. And that will be from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. at Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation. And there's flyers for everything I'm saying up here. And then another upcoming event, starting January 13th until May 12th, you can speak with a Borough President Constituent Services rep in person at the Cortelio branch of the Brooklyn Public Library every other Monday from 10 a.m. until 5:30. And then another event on Friday, January 31st, the Taxi and Limousine Commission and BP Reynoso are hosting an event for taxi and limo drivers called Van Halen at Brooklyn Borough Hall. And that'll be available from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. on the 31st. And then lastly, on February 20th, homeowner benefit and NOPV info session. So that's with the New York City Department of Finance, hosting a session on how to lower your property taxes. That's also at Brooklyn Borough Hall from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on February 20th. And there's also a flyer up here if you'd like more information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do I have any other elected reps here?
Good evening, everybody. I'm from the Brooklyn Public Library. I represent the High Lawn branch. Tambi's not here tonight from New Utrecht. I just have some quick things that we did last year. Our Culture Pass program celebrated 100,000 reservations. Culture Pass provides library card holders free access to museums, historical sites, and performance venues at 100 sites across all 5 boroughs. We had browsed the branches, which was very successful and is going to be extended. And this year we are focusing on our older adults, which is our unit is turning 50 years. I brought some information for the High Lawn branch of what's happening, and I thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Inspector.
Hi, good evening all. Happy New Year. Deputy Inspector Lau, Commanding Officer of the 62nd Precinct, covering the Bensonhurst community. I just wanted to let everybody know that in 2024, last year, the precinct, which is the Bensonhurst community, did very well in crime. We were down about 6.7% in crime. That doesn't sound like a big number, but that's 97 less major crimes. That's 97 less victims. So I think we're trending in the right direction, and I see us doing that also this year. We have our community council meeting coming up on the 21st at the precinct at 7 p.m. I invite everybody to attend. At the meeting, we always speak about great police work. We honor a police officer of the month. And in addition to that, we speak about current crime trends, crime prevention, and also quality of life. And over there at our meeting, you can ask us questions and we'll be available to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from elected? Okay. At this point, I am opening up, this is the public portion, so if anyone wants to say anything, now is the time. Once we close the public portion, I cannot acknowledge or let anyone who's not a board member speak. So it's speak now or forever hold your peace. Anyone from the public wants to say anything, come on up. You gotta come up.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just have a concern. Living in the area, I find that there's now more commercial vehicles being parked around our blocks. I live 4 blocks away from here, and I had to take an Uber because if I move my car, I can't park. I'm a parent, I have a child, I have to carry him, and I find that there's more and more commercial vehicles parked. And I feel like as a community, I'm asking for help.
Do I have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Come up.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Yes, this works. How are you? I live in the area, Bensonhurst. My name is Vivian. I work in the holistic field. So my main concern is, I'm thinking the more buildings, the more toxicity goes in the air. You know, everybody's concerned about cancer. We're not thinking about this. People move out to get fresh air. So the more we're adding in the air, it's like, how do these buildings run? You're talking about everything's gonna go in the air. And what happens to the people around? We breathe in this air. I'm sorry, I'm just speaking my own thoughts and thinking the more stuff around higher buildings, that brings toxicity in the air. And it also does bring in, we don't know what kind of people. I know we want to say all of this and all that, but it's not like we have cops around and stuff like that. On our block, we had 3 people that almost got, you know, they wanted to go in their house at 4 o'clock in the morning. We have videos. I mean, is that making it safe for our area? I'm sorry, I'm just speaking truthful. So whatever, I know we want to help each other, but keep the zone at the six, you know, six floors. It makes it better. This is what we're all thinking. We have everybody in the back. Chris, you want to come up and say your piece? Chris, the more the merrier. This is your chance. Please, come on.
Wait, excuse me a second.
Yes.
So we
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
yeah,
call
I'm
the club
sorry.
in order, so.
I
when
didn't know
you're
that. I
done,
thought you
then
meant
could
whoever
sit.
wants to come up.
No.
Sorry
I'm gonna
about
call
that.
up.
God bless
No,
everybody.
because then you have 5 people
Wish you all
coming
the
up.
best of luck, of health and peace.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So last night I went to actually one of my first community board meetings. It has to do with a property that's being proposed at 166 Kings Highway. And there's a lot of confusion right now, especially after the board meeting. Confusion is there was a request for rezoning to an R7X with a bunch of other letters that I, sorry, don't remember. I'm looking at a piece of paper. So that was going to allow a 13-story building. As of now, and as of the meeting last night, the owner had thought and applied for that zoning because he had thought the community wanted a senior housing development, and that was pushed by Susan Zhang. And at this particular point in time, the community from last night said, no, we don't want a 13-story senior housing building with 189 units where potentially there could be up to 1,000 people living in that building, with only one person per unit required to be a senior. There would also be up to a 30% requirement for homeless to be in that building. It's on the corner of Kings Highway and West 13th Street. Now, the owner last night made it very clear that he actually is not interested in building that. He wanted to build a luxury apartment building. At this point, actually, there is some question about how tall that building might be, the square footage of that building, what its impact on the community would be. Everyone's concerned about parking, everyone. There's not a person in this city who doesn't worry, unless you have a driveway and you don't have 4 kids. But everyone's concerned about parking. I think that that's one of the real big sticking points. For me, personally, I don't exactly know what I want. Right now, it's a parking lot for school buses. Don't really know if I want that either. Time up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Come up, 2 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you stand up, so you come up after him?
I'm sorry. So I'm here represent 500 people at least because they are behind me, they push me, and so this is the part of the signature we have to print. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angela. I echo the previous 3 speakers regarding the vacant lot at 166 Kings Highway. I live nearby on West 11 and Kings Highway. Very concerned about the proposed zoning change. Currently it's R6. The developer wants R7, and there's just, I am also confused, like somebody wants R7A, somebody wants R7X. I don't want any of that. I just want to be R6, no zoning change. Our community needs to remain a nice, low-lying community so as not to cause harm to existing residents of this neighborhood. We've been there for 30 years, 40 years, paying taxes, adding stability. The last thing we need is some new development coming in, creating these 13-story building all over our neighborhood. That's not the only vacant lot in question. There's several other vacant lots, as many of you know. So if we allow the zoning change for 166, we are setting a very bad precedent. So I hope the board will not vote yes on this proposal tonight. Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Chris Bruno. We came by yesterday to the other community center, and one of the young ladies over here mentioned that Susan was telling everybody we need this for older people, and then we were scratching our heads like everybody who lives in our neighborhood is older. We're the only ones who can afford these houses. We're the only ones with the homes. 20-year-old kids can't afford Brooklyn no more. Everything's $1 million. You can't afford it. So she's lying to the people. She's lying to the community. She just got here a minute ago, Susan, and she's selling us out to the mayor, to the mayor's office. We don't need a 13-story building. Like Al said, it's too many people. We have nowhere to park to begin with. Even as a homeowner, we have nowhere to park. We're always shuffling around trying to find spots. Add another 800 to 1,000 people. How's that going to work out for everybody? That's just one building. There's, like the young lady said, there's 4 lots right on the same area, right in the same vicinity, in a 3-block radius, 4 open lots. This thing gets passed tonight, they're all going to be R7Xs, and then we'll all be in trouble. So we got to vote no on this R7X, please.
Do I have anyone else from the public? Anyone else from the public? Again, reminder, now is the chance, because I can't acknowledge you once we close the public portion. Last call. Motion to close the public portion of the meeting. Do I have a motion? Kathy, second. Angela, all in favor? Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, so moved. At this point, I would like to ask for a moment of silence. We just recently lost President Carter, and we also lost someone who was very close to us, Rosa Casella, who passed away recently. So a moment of silence for both. Thank you. Thank you. Very appreciative. At this point, Marnie is going to do a roll call of members who are not here. So if you don't hear your name, it means we have you marked as being present. So if Marnie says your name and you're here, please make sure you jump up and wave your hands.
Thank you. Good evening. Jay Brown, Aria Carluccio, Helen Huang, thank you, Yin Ko, Chipor Lee, Gabriela Lopez, Judy Manafa, Albert Malone, Georgette Neglia, Wang Kwang Ruan, Sari Seton, Raymond Wang, Robert Whitaker, Cheng Hui Yi, Steve Young. And we're at quorum.
Thank you, Marnie. So now I'm going to go into my report. And as many of you know who were here, in December we could not have a meeting because we did not have quorum. Okay? So I thank everyone who's been coming and everyone who's here tonight. Thank you for making quorum, because without quorum we can't do any business. We said it at the November meeting that we sent letters to 2 board members who we have not ever met, who have never seen them since May being appointed. It's Wang Kwang Ruan and Cheng Hui Yi. I really don't like to remove board members for cause, but we, like I said, we cannot conduct business without a quorum. And we have not heard from them, we have not met them, anything, via email, snail mail, phone calls, everything. So, for these 2 board members, would someone like to make a motion to remove them for cause? Jeff, do I have a second? Sonia. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, so moved. Marnie will notify them. Planning and Zoning, as many of you already heard, had a committee meeting with a public hearing on Tuesday night for a zoning map and a text amendment change for 166 King Highway. The Planning and Zoning Committee will provide a detailed report, but I want to thank the Zoning Committee for coming out and doing all this hard work, and it is one of the hardest working committees, so I do want to thank them for all their work, and I do want to thank the community for coming out and voicing their opinions and letting us know. Thank you also for the petition tonight. Just a quick reminder, if you received an email, you may be up for reappointment. Some folks did not have a 2-year term, some had a 1-year term, so you do need to do an application by February. If you got an email, then you have to do it. Check your emails. If you're not 100% sure, ask Marnie, but not everybody got a 2-year appointment. Some were fulfilling other appointments that had been empty, so just double check your email. If you're not sure, double check with Marnie. Yeah, Sam, yeah. Always check your spam, because you never know what's in there. So just a reminder, we have time yet, and it's not due until February. And at this point, I want to give the mic over to our district manager for her report.
Thank you so much. So the board received a response from the Office of Cannabis Management regarding an application for a retail dispensary located at 1981 86th Street. That's right next door to the McDonald's restaurant off 20th Avenue. The board rejected this location due to concerns regarding its proximity to the restaurant that's frequented by school-aged children, high school children. Basically, the control board reviewed our concerns and approved the application, citing that the location complies with the law as it pertains to it, as adopted. So we lost that battle, but I wanted to bring that forward because everybody was pretty emotional about that. The feeling was it didn't belong in an area well-traveled by many children. As I'm sure that you are aware, it's been all over the news and announcements all over that the City Council approved the City of Yes for housing opportunity with lots of modifications as presented by City Planning. While we are still reviewing those modifications to determine the full impacts to our community, notable changes relate to the accessory dwelling units. The modification prohibits ground floor and basement ADUs in the coastal flood zone, an area that the city identifies as vulnerable to inland flooding from heavy rain. So this will not happen for some time down the road because codes need to be changed and the state needs to pass laws as well before those ADUs would happen. So we'll have a better understanding of exactly what areas will be excluded in the future. There are removal of parking mandates. It was modified to create 3 geographic zones. Most of District 11 is classified as Zone 2, which will have reduced parking requirements associated with building projects. Moving on, as you may know, the Department of Sanitation begins its winter schedule, which is also known as night plow season. What it means is that your collection times may be at a different time so that they can place personnel on all hours to handle snow or ice emergencies. So please, the reason why I'm telling you this because you may not notice, but some people may put out their garbage early in the morning. Please put it out before midnight, before the day of collection, so that it will be collected. You won't call and say, they missed my garbage. It's not that they missed it, they were just there a little bit earlier or whatever it is. And very quickly, Department of Transportation advised that they approved a traffic signal at the intersection of Cropsey Avenue and Bay 26th Street, which is scheduled to be installed by April 30th. And just informationally, because I know everybody gets excited about committee meetings, at next month's general meeting, the Department of Parks will be making a presentation on a funded capital project for the paths and court areas inside Bensonhurst Park. New York City Parks held a virtual input meeting for this project in April of 2024, and since then the designers have been working on putting together an in-progress schematic that they would like to present to the board and the community as well. And on February 11th, the Department of Design and Construction will present to the Parks and Libraries Committee the proposed renovations to the New Utrecht Library. The meeting will be held at the library at 6:30. We'll include that in our newsletter and email blast. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Marnie. Moving on to committee reports. Our first committee report is Transportation Committee. Daniel?
Good evening, everyone. So the Transportation Committee met on November 19th to hear an informational presentation delivered by the MTA and the Department of Transportation on the Bay Parkway and Cropsey Avenue bus priority and safety improvements. They are currently studying Bay Parkway from Avenue J to Shore Parkway and Cropsey Avenue, from Bay Parkway to 26th Avenue. These corridors have been identified as Vision Zero priority corridors. 25 people were seriously injured or killed from 2019 to 2023, and bus speeds are as low as 3 miles per hour. Bay Parkway was identified as a bus priority corridor and will be given special consideration to improve bus service via the Brooklyn Bus Network redesign. The current street environment fines are double parking, and loading in bus stops or in travel lane traffic congestion causing buses to bunch together, traffic buildup at major intersections, and busy pedestrians at major destinations and subway transfers. Currently, there is no design, and they will be conducting field observations, outreach, and traffic analysis. They expect a draft initial proposal during winter 2025 and a final proposal in spring 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Next up is Ross for Planning and Zoning.
Good evening. The Planning and Zoning Committee hosted the public hearing mentioned earlier on January 7th, 2025 on a zoning map and text amendment for the existing R6B C23 overlay zoning district bounded by Kings Highway, West 11th Street, Quentin Road, and West 13th Street to what was requested to be an R7X C24 overlay. Reminder, this is a change to the zoning. The applicant seeks the rezoning to develop 166 Kings Highway. The development proposal that was presented at the public hearing included a 13-story, 124-foot mixed-use residential and commercial building, which would have had 189 total dwelling units, including 165 studio and 23 one-bedroom apartments, all of which would have been income-restricted for senior housing through HPD's SARA program. The public hearing was very well attended and with about 125 residents in attendance. All the testimonies submitted both in person and written objected to the height that the R7X zoning provides. It should be noted that the applicant before us again is for rezoning of the area. It's not for a proposed development. It's not a senior housing development. If this development does not get built there and it remains an R7X, a 14-story goes up with anything that, almost anything they want to put in there. The committee has those concerns. If the development is not approved by HPD's SARA program, there was a three-year term to approve it. There are no guarantee, which are no guarantees that they will approve it. Then again, as I said, the R7X zoning designation would remain, and a 14-story tower could grow, which is, I think, as many people expressed, more appropriate for Manhattan or Long Island City, not for our community. While the committee would ideally like to see the six-story cap building for the area, the committee recommends disapproving with modifications the application for the R7X zoning and the map text amendment for 166 Kings Highway, unless that zoning designation is lowered to an R7A, which reflects the current zoning across the street, the zoning on Kings Highway and Quentin Road. In addition, there were some promises made, expressed an ability to provide additional parking, which was cut in this last proposal. So our recommendation would include, and I'll ask for a motion to put this forward, the additional parking as promised, as well as developing this free of the SARA program, free of the restrictions that, as we saw and as we had testified, limit the availability of this housing to people in this community because it reaches out to anybody and requires a 30% go to certain individuals that aren't necessarily living in this community. So with all those provisos, and if I've missed anything, please, anyone up here, feel free to remind me. I'd like to place the recommendation from the committee that this board disapprove with the modifications as suggested, this application. Do I have a 1 second? Right. I understand. The committee recommendation, for several reasons, was that an R7A or an R7X is unacceptable. An R7A with the additional parking and the provisos, as we stated, would be amenable. I believe a comparable would be, and tell me again if I'm wrong, would be 9. 9 or 8 or 9, not 10.
I apologize. The maximum on the contextual zoning in that area, which is an R7A, the maximum it could go up is 80 feet with a qualifying ground floor, and 90 to 90 feet with inclusionary housing. Right, top. Right, which is what is already zoned now.
And that, again, that's the zoning directly across the street. So we have a motion on the floor. I believe we had a second. All in favor? Opposed? Absent? Okay. All in favor?
Together, if you're on the board, all together.
Yes, board members, please.
So please.
In favor of, listen, this is a board vote to disapprove the application as written. Our modifications to this, remember we're advisory panel, is for an R7A, limiting it to the 8 or 9, and with additional parking out of the program that restricts community residents from partaking. We want to make this as open to the community as possible and limit it in its height. So let's have we have the vote on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Yes. And okay. You have two.
No sign. No sign. Sonia. This is the meeting. No sign. How many opposed?
Two. We have two opposed. Okay. Abstentions? One abstention. Abstentions. Last call for abstentions. Okay, one abstentions. The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, one last reminder. Now, this is the first stop on this train here. Remind me, again, as I said, we're advisory. This next will go to the borough president. So you can be heard there too.
What happens is the borough president, he makes a decision on it. He has to give whether he approves or disapproves. And if he approves, then it also goes to city planning and it goes to the New York City Council. So this is like the first stop of many. I cannot acknowledge anybody. The public portion is closed. So if you have questions, come up afterwards, okay? I just wanted to clarify what Ross was saying. We have one more committee report, commercial development. Andrew?
We'll switch over from big housing. We'll go over to small business. How about that? Hopefully that one's a little bit more amenable to the crowd. So commercial development focuses on the development of the community, specifically small businesses or any other type of businesses in the district. And what we've seen is since the pandemic, there's a lot of vacant storefronts. And so we held a committee meeting briefly to discuss that. We have here reports, a commercial district needs assessment from the Small Business Services. I've also reached out to the city's Small Business Services Department, who say that they have no reliable contact with these small businesses, no ability to actually contact these businesses. As you know, in Bensonhurst, Gravesend, and the surrounding neighborhoods that are part of Community District 11, there's far more than just 200 storefronts, 300 storefronts. But they have a survey that surveys 300 storefronts, and those were done a couple of years back. We also have new information since the pandemic, and so we took a community board 11 commercial development committee vote, and the committee voted to go out and speak to these small businesses over the next few months and to do our own survey. So I'd like to bring that motion to the board to speak about doing a survey with small businesses to see the needs of small businesses in the district, to see how we could help best the consumers and the residents of our district. Sure, the survey is reaching out to, Sure, the survey is reaching out to small businesses to see how we could best help these small businesses. A lot of them have, I could pull from the report that says over the years we've had about at least 10 to 20% vacant storefronts. That's 1 out of every 7, 1 out of every 5 storefronts on a block, 2 out of every 10, 4 out of every 20 on this street might be vacant storefronts. Is that because of high rent? Is that because there's not enough small businesses in the district, not enough small business owners that want to get started? And we would go and take those survey responses, among other things, and speak to the district's small business owners, take those answers and give them to the city's Small Business Services Department. We would also be working with these small businesses hands-on. Now, I know that the term ends in May or June, so we don't have much time here on out, but the most important thing is really reaching out and saying that we're here as a resource to these small businesses. Now, that goes all the way from the district's beginning at 14th Avenue, and it goes all the way to the district's end in Gravesend. It goes from 65th Street all the way up here to the water. And so that's something that we'd be focused on, talking to the small businesses. And some of our committee members have given great responses, saying that we could go and do it in the newsletter that our district manager sends out, and we could do a virtual form. And we could also do a physical form, and a lot of high school students that need some community service hours would be volunteering to go out there with pen and papers like the good old days. And so that's something that I really wanted to bring to the board and see if we would give this report and have a vote on that. There are questions from the board, if I'm able to. Of course. Of course, yeah. And so if we're using Google Forms or any other type of online service, it's able to be translated to the major languages in our district, which include Chinese, Russian, Spanish, Italian, or any others.
So I'm on that committee. We met like for a few minutes in the back. I'm thinking, okay, my name is Victoria Curto. I'm thinking that small businesses, mom and pop stores are struggling, even after COVID. And I think it's important for them to unite and for us to know as a community who they are. Also, we want to keep areas where they're located clean. So maybe we can have a better business organization where they get funds or help to keep their the storefronts or wherever they are clean, to not have vagrants out selling or peddlers selling things that they are competing with our local businesses. We have lots of vendors that don't have a license, and it's not fair to these small business owners. There are other places in Brooklyn that have really strong associations. We want to build that. And I'm also a teacher, so I know civics. Civic engagement is the buzzword. Students can do a lot of this work. They need hands-on practice. They can go to the store, little mom and pop stores. It builds community. High school students, maybe junior high. It's just something that we need to get everyone on board and help them so they don't go out of business. They hire our community. They hire people from the community, so let's help them.
Great. I believe I made I'm not sure if it's been seconded. Sure, yeah. Motion to have the Community Board 11 Commercial District Committee go out and do a survey of small businesses in the neighborhood. I see a lot of hands raised. I'm not sure if I need to be the parliamentarian and take the votes. Seeing, no? Thank you.
Thank you. New business. New business. Sonia? You have new business?
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm Sonia Valentine. I'm the president of the 62nd Precinct Community Council. I am so thrilled to see so many people here. This is a new beginning. I love it. I love it. In any case, I just want to let you know on Friday the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, at the 62nd Precinct at 11 a.m., we're going to be honoring our police officers. We're going to give them love. We're going to give them cards. We're going to give them candy. Please join us. We need you to show them love. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Law. I've been living in this community for 45 years. This year, very, very important. We're going to have a Lunar New Year parade. Okay, last year, this event attended by how many people? Almost 10,000 people. So this Lunar New Year parade will be on February 2nd, on Sunday. If you join us, please go to 18th Avenue, 16th First Street, 10 o'clock in the morning. Don't be late, okay? We're going to have a lion dance, a folk dance along the parade route. If an organization join us, please call me. Telephone number 917 978 0599. Please call me. My name is Dr. Law. If your organization join us, carry your banner, okay? Walk with us. We have almost 10,000 people. Please call me before you come. Thank you very much.
Board members, any other new business? New business? You have new business? Why you raising your hand? You have new business? No. You want to explain what?
So my name is Larry He. I attended the community meeting 2 days ago, and about the 166 Kings Highway potential zone change. It was very contentious, and I learned from my personal experience directly that there were a lot of oppositions. So as a board member, I believe we represent the people, the community. So I really advise that all the board members to take very cautious and serious steps in terms of approving any zone change. So because there were strong oppositions, and we have to listen to the people. Yeah.
I'm confused, Larry. I'm confused what you're saying because we opposed it. We just opposed it.
Okay, so I'm opposed. That's why.
But you voted. You voted opposite.
Hold on. Let's explain it. I thought we disapproved, but did we approve 7A? Yeah, I'm not recommending 7A.
No, we're not. We cannot. What was before us?
Yes.
We said no.
But as a part of the motion, was the motion also recommended 7A?
That would be the most.
Yes, the motion actually disapproved 7X, which I agree, but also at the same time recommended 7A, which I don't agree. The reason is very simple, because most of the people don't agree. I decided to side with the community. That's it.
Well, hello. All right. Excuse me. No, you cannot speak.
I'm sorry. But if you want to speak, you have to speak with decorum, and there's no shouting, and there's no yelling. I'm sorry, that's my job. Excuse me. I'm not going to argue with you.
Do I have any other new business? Do I have any old business? Okay. Marnie, you wanted to address one other issue? Excuse me. The public portion is over. I already said that like 3 times.
I'm sorry, but if you've never been to a meeting before, when she says the public portion is over, you had your chance. It's over. So please respect the meeting. Respect the meeting. Respect the meeting. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But please respect the people that are here, please. We want to have a civil meeting.
I just wanted to address the issue brought up at the public portion regarding the commercial vehicles. we will work with the precinct. There's an officer out there enforcing it. He's doing a great job. If you follow the social media, the towing and ticketing. So if you just get to me with the exact locations, we'll work together with the precinct to address that. Thank you.
Motion.
Was there any old business? Okay. Not the what? I can't, sorry. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
All in favor of adjourning? Thank you, have a pleasant evening.